So welcome all. Today we are actually trying to understand something about agile development. Okay, so basically whenever we are developing software, we have to consider a process of development. Okay, so several processes we have gone through. Those who have not, please go through. And we have come through that there can be formal models like waterfall model, incremental model, spiral model, prototyping model, and many others. Okay, but now we are considering something which is more focused on change. One thing that we have seen till now was that we have to understand the requirement, we have to make a SRS, and accordingly we have to work on it. No, so it is something like we are making an agreement with the client that this is what you want, right? You are confirming that these are the requirements of the software and this is what we will deliver you, right? Now later on when we will be delivering you the product, you cannot say that no, I don't want this, I want other thing. Those concepts actually are not that feasible in software development. So although there are certain benefits of going through that processes, so here what now we are thinking about, I should say this person, Kent, Beck, and many other people, they jointly decided that now onwards we are going towards agile methodology. We will call it, our group is Agile Alliance. Okay, so they gave a manifesto. Okay, so this is their manifesto, where what they are saying is that we are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others to do it. Okay, so okay, there was a mistake in copying from the book, but it's okay. So what I am telling here is they are saying that now we are going towards developing software in a different way, where through this work we have come to value, we will value for something, we will value for individuals and interactions over the processes and tools. These are the processes and tools that we have seen throughout this time in different process models. So we will value, definitely there is a value for these processes and tools. However, we will give more value to the individuals, those who are working on the software development, and the interactions will be between the software developers or among the software developers and the other stakeholders. So here we will also value working softwares over the comprehensive documentation. They are not saying that documentation is not important. Documentation is well important, but still we will value more the working software. Okay, because here later on we will see that we have to deliver something fastly. Okay, so in that case we have odds of getting this working software fastly. Okay, so we value more for the working software than the comprehensive documentation. Other than that, we value for customer collaboration over contract negotiation. We, as in previous previous processes, what we are doing, we were making a contract that these are the requirements and accordingly we will make the software. But now what we say, throughout the software development, we will collaborate with the customer. We'll ask the customer to come and see that these are the things we are developing, these are the features we are adding, what do you say? So constantly in agile development, we can say constantly some member of from the customer organization, they are constantly in contact with us and going through verifying that yes, it is we are we are in the right direction, we are making the correct software. Okay, we respond to change over following a plan. Okay, where earlier we had to make a plan, and accordingly we have a schedule, and these are the milestones which have to achieve within given the time limit. But now we are not going for that. We are going for responding to the changes. We understand here in Agile development that change is something which is constant. Okay, change is something which will always come. Later on in next slides or so, we will also see that different kind of changes are there, and which is inevitable. And so for these changes we need to respond. We need to work according to the change requests that are coming. So later on we will also see that how the change request in the previous models, because of these changes, the cost of the software may increase rapidly, or maybe the software may become a poor software, or these kind of things. But here in Agile development, we are taking care of these things and developing a software which keeps the cost of the software as minimum, keeping in mind that change requests will keep on coming. So whenever change request comes, we used to deal with it and do not panic. So here we are talking about that we have to value these things, but we are not leaving the value of the things on the right hand side, which are process and tool, comprehensive documentation, contract negotiation, following a plan. We value for these things as well. So what we are saying is we will value for these things, but we value more for these things, which is individuals and interaction, working software, customer collaboration, and responding to challenges. So this is a kind of manifesto that they say. Manifesto is something you understand, like when there is an election, political people are coming with their manifesto, that these are something that we are going to do. That is something like revolutionary change in the system they are going to bring. So this is the manifesto brought by these people, which is really a revolutionary change in software development. So this is something that we are going to understand throughout this chapter. Let me come to the next slide. In this slide here you see we are talking about what is Agile software engineering. Okay, so basically it combines a philosophy and a set of development guidelines. We will definitely see in coming videos that what are the guidelines, what are the principles we use to follow in Agile process. Here we have to understand that these guidelines basically encourages us to go for customer satisfaction and early incremental delivery of software. Okay, we try to deliver the software as early with increment. Increment means we will deliver the software with some set of features which is of core use for the customer, so that the customer remains satisfied. So also we have a small highly motivated project teams. We have informal methods. We are not going for formal methods. Means there is a value for formal method, we are not denying it. Okay, minimal software engineering work products and overall development simplicity. So here we are trying to use these things and to develop a software fastly. Now these guidelines, software development guidelines, stress on delivery over analysis and design. Okay, we may not be wasting our time in analysis and design. So it is better to make something, something with certain features and give it to the customers. They will get to see it and they can give the feedback, and accordingly we will develop in the next increment. Okay, there is an active and continuous communication between developers and customers. Frequently they are talking about the features that we are adding this thing. What do you think, this is correct or not? Accordingly we will judge what to do, right? Other than that, we will come through some more questions. Who will practice this Agile development? Definitely software engineers. Not only software engineers, but also the other project stakeholders like managers, customers, and users. They all will contribute together to form a Agile team. Okay, this team will be self-organized and in control of its own destiny. Okay, so this is something. Now these people will communicate with each other and collaborate with each other to develop the software on time. Now, why this agile method is important? Okay, definitely. Now, whatever business now we are going through, they all business want the computer based systems or software products to work faster. Okay, so now the thing is they also want the software as quick as possible, right? So agile software engineering is something which will help these businesses to get the software fastly, and also since it is a development process, so it will take care of the consistency of the information as well as the development procedure. So what I want to say is the developed software will be as good as it would have been in other process models. Okay, what are the steps of agile development? Definitely we will go through it, but we have to understand that this is just software engineering, the light version of software engineering. Okay, so like the basic framework activities where communication, planning, modeling, construction and deployment, they all are here. Okay, we have to go through all of them, but we have to reduce the tasks that were there in those framework activities. Okay, so with the minimal task set we will try to develop the software. That is the thing here. Now what will be your work product? Definitely the work product will be your software increment. You will definitely make you are trying to develop the software, so every time you will develop a software increment where you will include some new features and add some betterment in the operational features. Okay, now how do you ensure that you have done it right? So it is something like suppose we all the agile team, who were there in agile team? The software engineers, managers, customers and users as well. Okay, so if these all the people in the team they agree that the process works and whatever deliverables are there of the software working this thing and the documentation whatever are being delivered, they satisfy the customer, then the work is, then you can say that yes, we have done it right. So this is something as an introduction to agile development, where we have tried to understand that we are going for a revolutionary change, where we are understanding the current need of market, where every people want this computer based systems nowadays. So we also understand that there is change request. These change requests come always. So like market conditions change, end user needs will evolve, and suppose competitive threats are there, because of that certain changes will become. So keeping all these things in mind, these change requests will keep coming. So we have to develop such method of development where we can include these all the things, these all the change requests, and yet be able to keep the software cost minimum. Okay, so cost of change throughout the software process should be minimum. So that is minimum in the agile development. However, if you would have used other development process, there the change of request is higher. Later on we will see, after we will see the agility, we will see the cost of change. So I was also telling some more things like process model. Okay, okay, I was telling you about that the software engineers are not robots. Okay. So if they are not robots, that means they exhibit great variation in their working style. Okay, maybe a difference in their skill level, their creativity, how they work, whether they work consistently or not, or they can take spontaneous decisions or not. These are variation in different people. Okay, so some of the people can write code very efficiently, some of the people write slowly, or some people can write some English written, they are good in English, some may not be good in English. So these kind of things are there. So on these things we understand that there is variation in people, those who are working on the software. Ultimately these software engineers are those who are working on the software. So now there are two things. If you want to make this your system to come to convergent solution, there are two things. Either you ask them to be disciplined, or you tolerate it. Okay, so either the system, this process that you are using, it should be tolerant enough, or it should be disciplined enough. Discipline means like the previous process models were stating the discipline, that this is the way you have to do. After requirement you have to do modeling you have to do construction. This was a discipline. However, now here we are choosing, in agile methodology we are choosing tolerance. We will try to tolerate the people who do software engineering work. Okay, now these tolerant practices are easier for software people to adapt and sustain. But what is this? There may be a case that the people may be less productive than the other model. So there is a trade-off. We will have to give means we have to keep a part of discipline also and a part of tolerance also. So with a appropriate mixture of these two, we can lead to a good agile team. Okay, in next video we will try to see what is agility. Okay, thank you.